Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So we're back with the next DK tree. We're going to be looking at the other DK DPS spec, and that is the Frost Death Knight. Now the Frost Death Knight tree, when it initially came out, was pretty widely praised as being a pretty solid tree overall, and I was on board with that too, with that thought initially. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper dive into it, look at some potential builds, look at some points that you could be messing around with, potential flex points. Excuse me. Apologies. And we're going to be looking at both single target and AoE specs that you could be potentially looking at for Mythic Plus and for Raid. Again, apologies. As soon as I start recording, my throat's like, screw you. Alright, so let's start with the DK tree itself. Of course, you get Chains of Ice by default. We're going to go ahead and grab Mind Freeze. We're going to go ahead and grab Anticipation and Icebound Fortitude, just because for Mythic Plus, all of this is going to be really nice. Now, Anticipation, if you don't need an interrupt for any particular reason, then you can come grab like Permafrost, especially if you're dual wielding, because then you get, small little Absorb Shield. It's just a little bit of a defensive boost to your kit overall. So you run Icebound Fortitude, Blinding Sleet, potential flex point for AoE builds. Now we need a few more points to get down to this side of the tree, so we're going to grab Death Strike, Anti-Magic Shell, and we're going to go ahead and grab Death's Advance along with Veteran of the Third War, and that's the 8 points that we need to move down for now. So we're going to go ahead and grab Merciless Strikes to give you that increased crit, Acclamation to reduce the Icebound Fortitude, and Runic Empowerment because it's just the strongest of the two rune regeneration abilities. So like I explained in the Unholy video, but I'll lay it out here again if you're coming to the DK videos for the first time. So each runic power has a chance to spend 2% chance to instantly grant you a rune. So here you're looking at 25 runic power, so that's a 50% chance on a Frost Strike to get a rune. If you're playing Breath of Sindragosa, 16 power per second, 16% every second to get runes. Whereas on Runic Corruption, it is a 1.6% chance to get your rune regeneration rate done. And so instead of just like getting a rune instantly, all your runes speed up for like 3 seconds, and then that's done. Runic Corruption is the current Unholy Death Knight one in Shadowlands regeneration. Runic Empowerment, of course, for Frost, but Runic Empowerment is just flat out stronger. All right, so we're at 11 points. We need a little bit more, so we're going to grab AMZ, Wraithwalk, and we're going to skip Assimilation for now and come back up and grab Raised Dead, Cleaving Strikes, and this one's kind of like pick your poison. I'm gonna grab Control Undead because it's kind of like the best of the three. Sacrificial Pact could work as well. Enfeeble, I don't think it's going to be very good for Frost or Blood because your ghoul isn't permanent. This is only going to be like available to you once a minute for every 2 minutes, so like not very good. Brittle we will take because you are going to apply Frost Fever, of course, so you get 6% more damage against your targets on Frost Fever, and you're going to get the increased strength. Now at this point here, because we need 2 more points, you can choose either Lichborn or one of these if you need. For raid situations, I'd say probably grab Lichborn. For Mythic Plus situations, grab whichever one you want. We're just going to go ahead and grab Death's Reach just for the SMGs of it, but this is a flex point between this and this, whatever you think you might need. And then Unholy Ground give you 5% more haste while you're inside Death and Decay. So that now opens up the bottom tier of the tree. So we're going to go ahead and grab Runic Continuation, all 3 points in Icy Talents, and Empower Rune Weapon. We're also going to grab Will of the Necropolis and Unholy Bond. And then we have some choices here. We have 2 points left to spend. So the good choice, what are the good choices here? So I think Soul Reaper is a possibility. If you skip Unholy Bond and take Improved Death Strike, you can get A-Bomb Limb, but it's a little bit more tricky for Frost than it is for Unholy. And Blood, of course, to get this. So we're going to go ahead and grab Soul Reaper to give you that single target, it's Shadow Frost damage, so it should scale off of your mastery, but gives you a little bit of single target execute. And then this talent, we're either going to grab Horn of Winter if Rune Mastery is not good. If Rune Mastery is good, then you're most likely going to grab it. So we're going to grab it assuming that it's good. So I think this is probably a pretty good bare bones build to start with. This point is flexible to go on either side. Your flexible points here, Will of the Necropolis, can be flexible as well. These 4 points can be flexible, I think, in Mythic Plus type situations to maybe switch over and grab Improved Death Strike into A-Bomb Limb. I think for single target, Soul Reaper will be better, but you can always grab these as well if you need the grip for any reason. more than just one grip. Go from there. You can also grab a point into Death's Echo to get an additional death grip charge. Like I said, Lichborn plus this choice node, flexible. Even Wraithwalk to an extent can be a flexible pick if it's a low movement fight and you don't need the extra movement. You can go grab Asphyxiate, or you could come over and grab something else along the tree. Grab Death Pact if it's like a low movement, high damage fight. There's some really good flexibility in this tree for Frost, and I think that it's setting itself up well to be a pretty strong tree with lots of good options. Over to the Frost tree, of course, we're going to grab Frost Shake, Obliterate, Howling Blast, Killing Machine, and Rhyme. I think those are all very important to grab. Now, in this fourth row, we get Unleashed Frenzy. Frost Strike increases your strength. Unfortunately, it's tied to some very good talents, so unfortunately, we are going to have to take it. Maximum Runic Power increased by 10 at the max. We're going to skip this for now. Frost Strike damage, we're going to skip for now, but we're going to go ahead and grab Remorseless Winter. And actually, we'll go ahead and take Runic Command. For a Breath of Sindragosa build, this will be better. For a Obliteration or Ice Cap build, this is probably going to be your better option. So this depends on the build that you're playing. So of course, we grab Pillar of Frost, staple of the thing. Improved Rhyme to get more Howling Blast damage on your proc is good. We're also going to grab Improved Obliterate to get additional Obliterate damage, because it's still going to be very important. And Improved Killing Machine to grant the Frost damage. Now over here, we have some options here in the choice nodes. You can get Cold Heart or Inexorable Assault. I think for a Breath of Sindragosa build, both of these are optional, because Endurance Strength is good, and you may want to get it, but this might be a flexible choice. Then Frozen Pulse versus Avalanche. Always say Frozen Pulse, so you can grab that. Biting Cold is the legendary that you use currently. That allows you to come down and get Gathering Storm, so I think this is just good for single target and good for AoE. And then you have the option, I think, if you get Chill Streak, this is only for Mythic Plus situations. You grab Chill Streak, and then you maybe want to grab like Enduring Chill or Piercing Chill. I think either one is fine. It's just going to be a numbers tuning thing. Empower Rune Weapon, you definitely want to grab. And you want to go ahead and grab... Oh, we need more points. Let's see. We do one more point, so let's go ahead and grab Murderous Efficiency. So that you can get Everfrost. And then we're going to come down and get Invigorate and Freeze to give additional Runic Power generation and Breath of Sindragosa. Now that gives us 5 points left to spend, and there's a few ways that we can spend this point. So we can grab all the way down here to Bone Grinder to give you basically 1% critical strike chance for 20 seconds, stacking up to 5 times on Consuming Killing Machine. At 5 section, next Killing Machine consumes stacks and grants you a 10% increased frost damage. Just a solid little talent. Cold-Blooded Rage. This only affects Frost Strike, which is a little bit potentially subpar. And then you can come down and grab like Obliterate itself. So when you have Pillar of Frost, you're always gonna get Howling, always get Killing Machine and get a chance to get a rune. Or you can grab Ice Cap, which makes your Pillar of Frost cooldown reduced. I think both of those are viable talents. You can also pull these 2 points out and grab one of Froststorm's Fury, and then come grab like Frostwhelp's Aid. Or you can come grab Chill Streak with one of these. You can also come over here and grab Rage of the Frozen Champion, which I think is a good choice. And then come back up and find like another 1 point talent to grab. You could grab like 1 point in Frostwhelp's Aid. You can grab Chill Streak. You can come over and grab Absolute Zero if you need the mob control for any reason. But I think this is basically like the pretty basic structure of breath builds. Now, if you're going to go a more standard Obliteration build, we're going to want to go this path, I think. This is more single target oriented, FYI, so keep that in mind. This is going to be assuming dual wield. I'm not looking at a two-handed Frost build here. So we'll grab Obliteration, but Ice Cap can work. grab Avalanche again. So I think this build kind of works for single target. Is, you know, you make the choice. If you do Ice Cap, then you want to find 2 points to spread out somewhere into Frostwhelp's aid. You can get rid of Frostworm's Fury, and let's see, you can get rid of Frostworm's Fury and probably the second Empower Rune Weapon charge, so that you can grab Frostwhelp's aid, because that's just going to be really good for the Ice Cap build. But I think this is kind of what we're looking at for a sort of single target, like obliteration dual wield build. Overall, this tree, what style you're going to play will depend very largely on what build you think is going to be kind of the most effective, or a preferred style of play. You know, if you wanted to go two-hand in this particular build, you'd probably drop the point out of Frostworms in single target to grab Might of the Frozen Wastes. I just don't think two-handed Frost is, unless they do something with weapons like the Jailer weapon style type situation. My gut tells me you're just going to see a lot of scaling drop off the face of the map a little bit, just because dual wield has a lot of long-standing history with the spec and has a lot of things that just synergize really well with auto attacks, icy talons, runic continuation, stuff like that, where just the build tends to work a little bit better because you can get double Rune Forge. You can grab, of course, Ice Blade and the Strength one for the champion one, or if you want to grab something like Glacial Advance, you can drop Razor Ice to grab like Hysteria for breath builds. You just get a lot of really interesting options. And of course, this also assumes, you know, obviously we don't know about the tier set bonuses and what they be. That's obviously going to impact builds as well. If it's something like, for example, Glacial Advance isn't going to be useful with the current 4-piece build because you already are getting free Glacial Advances as it is, so you don't really need that. So that'd be a point that you could drop somewhere else, for example. So this tree I think is really, really well designed. I don't think they need to do a lot to this tree. I can't really think of anything that needs to move. Can't really think of anything that maybe needs to be reduced. There's not any 3-point talents on this side of the tree, like single nodes that are 3 points. A lot of 1- and 2-point talent choices. It's a very well thought out tree, and the revised Death Knight tree I think is very, very good for all 3 specs. So spoiler on the blood one. So, but that's the video on Frost DK, guys. It's pretty short overall, but this tree is good, man. Like, Frost DKs, if you're a Frost DK one trick, or you know, you're a DK DPS main and you don't mind either playing Frost or Unholy, just whatever stronger, whatever situation calls for it. If you're playing Frost, I think you're going to end up liking what you're seeing so far. If you're trying out DK on the alpha right now, I think you probably have a few different builds that you could play with and determine what you just have the most fun with, or try to figure out what maybe is the best numbers wise. But I think this spec, at least right now, is in good shape. Maybe some numbers tuning, but in my opinion, I don't think they need to move anything in the spec specific tree, and I think the DK tree is in good shape. So that's my opinions on Frost DK, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you're at the end of this video, I appreciate you very much for sticking around with me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all the clout chasing stuff that we do in all these videos, because it actually does help. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel but you like what I'm doing, check to make sure that you actually are subscribed. A lot of people have discovered, and this has even happened to me, you watch someone like all the time or every day, and then like you think you're subscribed because you watch them every day. Their videos are always coming up in like your home feed and stuff like that, but you actually aren't subscribed. So if you are someone that does watch a lot of my videos, check to make sure that you're subscribed if you're not, because if you're watching my content, throwing a free subscription at me helps me out a lot and guarantees that you're always able to find my videos pretty quickly. So anyways, guys, it's enough of the YouTube algorithm BS. So until the next video, all guys, we're going to do blood next and then see where we go from there. So take care, stay safe, keep gaming, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.